Hi and welcome to back to the bridge. This is day 2 and the morning before the second day, and I'm standing here with Björn, who's a teacher from Lund and also my local record dealer.
Yes.
So Björn, as a teacher and as an entrepreneur,
Yes.
what did you find interesting in yesterday's conference with the bridge markets?
The bridge markets were very interesting when people from industry and from different sorts of businesses and me from school met and discussed can we solve this problem, and we actually came up with at least one idea where we can involve schools.
Yeah.
Very hands-on.
And what topic did you discuss?
That topic was actually kidney failure being very expensive for Region Skåne to treat.
Yeah.
And if you can find it earlier and make people treat themselves better the whole way, then we would save a lot of money at the other end that we can spend on other things.
So what angle did you come in from as
that
working in
angle
schools?
was when they started talking about all sorts of different things, and we talked about a lot of different things, but one thing was that you have to, when you find that in one area of a city you can have a problem and it can be really hard to communicate in that part, then you have the idea of the school being the center of the community and young people being influencers. So if you take like kids who are around 10, 12, 15 maybe, and make them ambassadors for checking blood pressure on their parents, then you would come a far way. And it's quite an easy way to make a difference, because the schools would love to have the thing you need for measuring blood pressure, and also if you do it in the right way, when communicating with schools and the children, of course, listen to the children. How do we do this? If you do that in the right way, I think you can do great things working with schools.
Yeah. So, and I guess you're quite the only teacher here.
Yes, that's another thing I've been thinking a lot about, because I try to be at these places, and it's very interesting. It's very you're always enthusiastic, and it gives a lot back to me, and I can bring it back to the children and my colleagues. But there should be more teachers in these places, because and that's a problem, because there is no bridge between school and sustainable businesses that is really good. And everyone knows a teacher, everyone could invite a teacher. Companies should say, okay, let's invite a few teachers, let's pay for their entrance fee, which is one problem. And another problem could be that today my colleagues do my work. For 2 days my colleagues do my work for me, and that's the reality we live in. And we're not complaining about it, but there should be more teachers and also school children.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the other side of your business as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And what do you take away from the bridge?
So funny, because I have the record shop, which is a thing I work with a few hours a week, and there was a really fascinating story from Antoinette van den Berg from Holland, who talked about vintage clothing, and I do vintage vinyl records. And it was so interesting, because what I'm doing in Lund right now is a business that is actually growing and growing and growing. And I'm doing it quite differently from everybody else, and that's what's working. And I realize as I'm sitting there that I have a sustainable business, which I'm very, very proud of. And she told us that and she has this fabulous taste in fashion, of course, wonderful. And she tells us that she bought her favorite skirt for 15 euros.
Yeah.
And I realized, and I know people in the vintage market for clothes.
We're gonna move for the sound, the sound check.
Okay. Then I realized, I realized that that's too cheap. You could have a store, looking around in here, like 200 people, realizing that you could actually have a store next to a clothes store, and 200 people in here would love to buy the same clothes. If they were used at the same price. I'm convinced of that. They would actually pay the same price as for a new clothes, because people want to buy new. They want to go into stores, which is an idea with my record store. I don't sell the best albums on internet. I never sell albums on internet, which everyone thinks is strange. But you're welcome. Reasonable price, not cheap, but still not at a reasonable price, because internet is very often more expensive. So I realized that I have a sustainable business, which I'm very proud of.
That's
and
great.
it actually a great deal of it comes from my interest in records, but part of it comes from me being a teacher. And maybe 5 or 10 years ago, I gave lectures on entrepreneurship in school. And said, well, everyone is not supposed to start a business, but you have to be an entrepreneur still. Myself in school, I'm an indoor entrepreneur who do different things, startup things in school, but I work in school. I'm not outside of school. I'm in school doing this. That's one way of being an entrepreneur. And also, but I realized that I've never started a business. And I was doing records, I was trading records as everyone else on the internet and all those things. And I realized that, well, then I have to start a company, because you have to walk the walk if you talk the talk. Yeah.
So if the Bridge Summit was an album, which album would it be?
Oh, wow. It would actually be the perfect matching compilation with different artists. And you would have the artist on each other's tracks also. That's the Bridge Summit, I would say.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy that you're here.
Thank you.
Okay, and for you who watch this, we're going to be live from the second day of the Bridge Summit. So keep watching our Facebook page. Bye.
Bye.